All right, our last but not least, our special guest, Palestinian American activist, organizer, and author, Linda Sarsour.
Unapologetically Muslim American. this President of the United States of America bypassed Congress twice so he can sell weapons to the state of Israel during the genocide. How shameful that a president could bend the rules to sell weapons to a genocidal regime, but can't bend the rules for health care, for high-quality public education, for transportation and infrastructure, to house the homeless here in New Orleans. Shame on a Democratic president who knows that 80% of Democrats support a ceasefire. And let me just be on the record here. For those of you who want to understand what this movement is calling for, ceasefire is the bare minimum, my friends. Nothing to celebrate, nothing to be proud of. That is a basic humanitarian position to take to call for an end to bloodshed. What we want is an end to the brutal military occupation of the West Bank. What we want is to break the siege on Gaza. What we want is a free Palestine from the river to the sea. And we already know there's haters. So let me put this on the record. Let's define what we talk about when we say from the river to the sea. I'm here to give you the good talking points. When we Palestinians say a free Palestine from the river to the sea, we mean free the Palestinians from occupation on the west bank of the Jordan River. We mean free the Palestinians who are treated as second and third class citizens within the state of Israel under discriminatory nation-state laws. And when we say free Palestine from the river to the sea, we mean free our Palestinian sisters and brothers in Gaza on the Mediterranean Sea. So when we say free Palestine, we mean all the Palestinians from the west bank of the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. Opposition doesn't get to define our cause for liberation. Opposition does not get to tell me how to speak about the freedom of my people. Nobody gets to tell you what vocabulary to use. This is not a movement about comfort. This is a movement about discomfort. And we will make this country uncomfortable for those that choose genocide and occupation over people and humanity. Let me tell you about these Congress people here in Louisiana. Shame! 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 On the bloodshed of enslaved people on this land. Shame! Shame! These elected officials work for you. You pay their mortgage, you pay their bills, you pay their salaries, my friends. But you gotta start acting like it. Because if you work somewhere and you don't do your job, you get fired. So why are you allowing elected officials who don't do their job still have because the people of Gaza deserve nothing less than you, sisters and brothers. For my Palestinian sisters and brothers, the people of Gaza have shown excellence. They have shown a deep-rooted faith. They believe in a world beyond this one. And so when I pray for the Palestinian people and I say, may Allah protect them, may Allah bless them, may Allah alleviate their harm and suffering, I also make a dua for you. And I say, may Allah instill in the Palestinian people of the United States of America the courage and the faith of our beloved people in Gaza. That's what I yearn for, sisters and brothers. So I'm calling you to do a few things. I wouldn't be an organizer if I didn't tell you to do so. Number one, show up. Convince your families to come outside. Because 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 is mass mobilization. Give. Freedom is not free in this country. This stage we're standing on, this sound system we're speaking from, this requires resources. So give to the organizers. Make sure they have what they need so they can stay outside in the streets. All of your members of Congress have local district offices. Guess what? You pay the rent of those offices. You're the landlord. So go roll up. Take your friends and roll up during the day, 9 to 5, my friends. And say, I am a voter in your district. You work for me, you work for them. And here is what we demand from you. Members of Congress, when we are on the Hill in Washington, D.C., say, we will get thousands of calls from the opposition and only a fraction of those who support the Palestinian people. Come on, my friends. We are more than them. I have to believe that the people who stand for justice, for equity, and for liberation are more than those who stand for occupation, who stand for bigotry, and who stand for hate. So for now, we are not outnumbered, but we are out-organized. And that's what we're going to do together, and that's what we're going to change together. I also stand here today in New Orleans in honor of Topher. Shame on New Orleans for allowing a 17-year-old boy born and raised in New Orleans to get shot by the IDF in the West Bank, and not a single statement out of our administration.
Shame.
Topher deserves justice. Topher deserves those who took his life to be held accountable. I also stand here to remind you about our dear sister, Esmail, 46-year-old resident of New Orleans, who was detained and abducted by the IDF in the West Bank. A woman with a chronic illness, taken without her hijab. And thank you, God, that her neighbors recorded the incident, or they would have lied to us and told us they did not know where she was. Keep your voice loud for Topher. Keep your voice loud for Esmail, because they too are our responsibility, and they are the responsibility of these United States of America. streets of New Orleans. And for my Palestinian sisters and brothers, we have everything to be proud of. Everything to be proud of. And also for these little ones, you see these little ones on the front, you see your children that you brought here today, we do this for them. So that they could carry on that spirit of the quest for liberation of the Palestinian people. So we will work for a free Palestine today, but even if we are not to see it in our lifetime, I promise you, I make this promise to you here today, that even if we don't see a liberated Palestine in our lifetime, I promise you that these children right here on the front lines will. And it will be because of the decisions and the work that you do today. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace! Y'all ready to march? Y'all ready to march? Let's get ready to march.